Good morning, beloveds.
Good morning.
Good morning, beloveds. From my earliest memory, my parents taught me to be a person of my word. They told me, if you say you're going to do something, do it. Don't just talk about it, do it. When you say you're going to be someplace at a certain time, be there at that time. And if for some reason you can't be there at that time, let them know. They told me when I was going to leave home to set out on my own. They said, when you leave home, make sure you can stay gone. I said, what does that mean? You won't want to come back. You've stepped on. And you come back home, guess what? The same rules apply, which were courtesies. Call if you're going to be late. Let us know where you are. Otherwise, out of the house, parents don't worry quite the same. So I was taught early commitment to myself and to my family and all of my loved ones. I was taught to be a person of my word. Always of my word. Honor all of my commitments. Or change those commitments. That's important. You can change, you can move, you can say yes for a while here, as long as it serves the soul of who we are. And so, because I honored my word and my commitments, I'm very careful about what I put my word toward these days. The Science of Mind teaching was like, oh yeah, this is right in alignment for me. This supports the idea of the word and commitments. It encourages us, each one of us, to be mindful of what we say and also what we think. Thoughts are things, thought back of the word, emotions back of all of that helps to create the life that we have. We all kind of intellectually sort of believe that. But then something happens in our lives and we say, except for that. It's all true except for that. I didn't create that. I didn't say. Well, somehow it came into your experience, and I don't really believe we create dis-ease or uncomfortable situations. As Laurie was mentioning today, life happens, and so where's the opportunity in the happening? Where's the gift in the horse stall that's full of, the stuff? There's got to be a pony in there somewhere, as the old story goes. There's got to be a pony in all that garbage going on, all that unpleasantness. And, my early teaching was fundamental Christian believing. And the Bible, I was taught back in that day, is in the beginning was the Word. And the Word was with God. The Word is God. Science of Mind, our teaching, defines word as, the word means the ability of spirit to declare itself into manifestation, into form. So, the Word of God is powerful. It's filled with power and potential, and is based upon our understanding of the beliefs behind how we think, how we live, how we act, how we behave, how we respond to life, and what we speak and how we speak it. The Word to me is the initiator of the activity of Spirit to create. The initiator of the activity of Spirit to create. Science of Mind tells us, I'll read right from the textbook. And it's on the section, The Story of Creation Simplified. God, meaning the Supreme Spirit or intelligence of the universe, was conscious of himself or itself prior to the creation of any specific world system. Being thus conscious and desiring to manifest in form, it did so manifest through the power of the Word, which is law. God is not pure spirit or intelligence. It is also perfect and immutable law. It's not only pure spirit or intelligence, but perfect and immutable law. As pure spirit, it governs the universe through the power of the Word. Hence, when God's Spirit speaks, our Word through us speaks, the Word becomes law. The law must obey. The law is mechanical, and the Word is spontaneous. Our Word is spontaneous according to our belief, our emotion, our responses. It's very spontaneous. How often do we go, blah, blah, blah? Oops! Didn't mean to left that out there, cancel that off. I like to, back when I was a kid, we had Etch-a-Sketch. Now we have a delete button. Computer. I was going to scratch that off. I don't want to, let's do something different. Let's create a new picture. The Word being spontaneous, it cannot speak a word which contradicts its own nature. So when we speak a word, the law says okay. It says okay. We speak a word, we give it power to create in our lives. I'm very mindful of my words these days. I become the observer many times. Learned that from my family too. If you're not sure, shut up. Think before you speak. Sure you want to say that? Sure you want to do that? Now, for a while I was a little too cautious. I wouldn't do anything. It's like, guy behind the curtain, you know, I wasn't seen. But that was then, this is now. So the life, this life, your life, my life, is the example of all thought, all word, and all belief. It's the culmination of our life so far. So far, up to this point. How's your life? You like your life? Most of it? 20% of it? We're all here, we're all breathing, we've all had nourishment. We all loved up and we came. What could get better than this? Really. This is all there is. Right here, today. But what are we dragging around? What do we have bound up? Those ties that bind, which is my title. How do we bind our beliefs? How do we gather them? And how do we? I brought an example. Prop. Suitcase. This is well traveled. Okay, this is our beliefs. We put them all in here. We packaged them up. We have the choice to pull up the handle and keep carrying them with us, or not. Or not. My question is always in life, what's next? What's new? What's coming up? What am I saying to God, to the intelligence of the universe? What am I doing to create something life-affirming. I know that God is omniscient, omnipresent, and omnipotent, all-knowing, all-power, and everywhere present. I know that. I've seen it in action. We can't see it. We see it, the activity of it in our lives. And we are given this wonderful gift called volition, choice, to have, through our believing, a word, our word, based on our ability to receive the life we desire. Not to get, but to receive the life we already know we deserve. There's a difference in that. You're trying to get something. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. The thing disappears. Then what? What's left? A feeling. So what's a feeling that we want to have in our lives? You know, I used to have a desire, like I said, for things, but you get the thing, and that's all you get. It's a thing. What I want is the feeling. The feeling that it provides. And so, why not have that feeling first and see what shows up? That's the power of the word. The desire, the feeling, the knowing. Word enriched with our true feelings produces for us life. It's a hand-in-hand proposition. Frank Lloyd Wright said, "Form and function should be one joined in a spiritual union." Love Frank Lloyd Wright. Didn't know he said stuff like this, but hey, who knew? Science of the mind declares love points the way, and the law makes it possible. Frank Lloyd Wright knew about the law of architecture, and the law of the planet, the sun, coupled all that together in the spirituality idea to create the perfect environment for a home, for a dwelling. But he saw and felt what it would be like before he created that thing. Love points the way. I love that because love is always the easy way out of any situation. Always, and it's also the easy way in. But it gets us out of confusion, out of conflict. It gets us out of our way sometimes too. I want to share New Orleans with you a little bit. Okay, the reason that I went to New Orleans was to do a ceremonial scattering of a portion of Reverend Louis' ashes. The day he made his transition, he was wearing a New Orleans t-shirt. His intention, our intention, was to go to New Orleans for his birthday this year, which was last Saturday, the 31st of May. So those were like little points of connect that I thought, within me there was this sense, I need to do this. Something I need to do. Out of my spirit, I need to do this. So, some people were going, then they weren't. Some people weren't, then they were. So, and you know how that works. It's like a lazy Susan of life. And so, what I had to do, because I loved everybody who was in that Susan, I said, okay, this is perfect. It was tough to say, okay, this is who's going, these are the perfect people. So the day of the event, which was Saturday, brought everybody together for lunch. They would ask me, okay, so what time are we doing this? I said, there is no, it's the perfect time. Whenever it is, it's going to be. It's going to be. So it's raining, it's raining, it's raining. We step out to get a cab. A 6-person cab shows up, a van. Is that perfect? There's 6 of us. Drive up. We're let out. The sun comes out. Behind me on the river, Calliope, steam Calliope starts playing. So we walk in towards the St. Louis Cathedral. Sorry. I knew an area, which was the statue, marble statue. Louis loves marble, loves statues. I thought that's perfect. So, but around it wasn't perfect, I didn't sense, because it wasn't pretty. She was, but it wasn't. You know, if it isn't pretty, he wanted nothing to do with it. So I thought, where's she looking? So I turned, and there was this beautiful rose bush about to bloom with freshly tilled soil. So I said, there it is. There it is. So we did a prayer, did the scatter, we're having a moment. The cathedral clock strikes 2. Gemini. Twins. Now, in my mind, I had thought, wouldn't it be nice to have one of those New Orleans bands do when the saints go marching in? But then I'd have had to arrange that. And it's really not quite legal to do what was done. You know? Edit that part out, would you? But, so I said, let that go. The clock didn't stop at 2. It began chiming and ringing and bells and da-ding. A wedding had just been performed. The bride and groom step out. If you've ever heard a Catholic church do all of its bells and whistles, that's where that saying comes from. All the bells and whistles. Ding-a-ding, ding-a-ding. Out comes the bride and groom. The men are pulling out their white handkerchiefs. The brass band starts playing. Glory. The brass band. There was a brass band, better than I could have imagined, celebrating the day, the moment. And I took it as for us, of course. So, you know, what I know about all of that is get out of the way. What's the feeling that wants to be seen and known here? There was so much love coming to this point, and so much purpose, that you just can't box that in. You just can't box that in. We're here to carry a legacy of who we are and all of our memories. And I carry this with me as a real moment of letting love point the way and the law carry out the details of how it all comes to be. And this legacy, for me, is not filled with burden. Not to be tied down or tied too tightly. Rather, to be held lovingly in the bosom of the beloved. There's a difference. There's a difference. So what are the commitments you have held on to in your life? What has bound you? Guilt, shame, worry, the expectations of others? Allow love to point the way. I have a short little quote by Uriah Mountain Dreamer, and she wrote, "It doesn't interest me what you do for a living. I want to know what you ache for. If you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing." Beloveds, move with grace and ease toward what you decide for you, not others. God's love always provides. Always provides. And as I conclude my lesson today, know that the love, that legacy, Reverend Louis, as each one of us, we carry that with us. And that should be celebrated. That should be and I do. And I do. So I close with the words of Rumi, and I invite you to close your eyes and feel the love. If you want to expound on love, take your intellect and let it lie down in the mud. It is no help. It is no help. Namaste. And so it is.